Hello and welcome to today's short class where we're going to be looking at hip opening with pigeon pose. So grab your mat and let's begin. Okay, so we're going to start today in a seated position. So come to cross-legged, and if cross-legged feels too much, sit however feels comfortable for you. If you can sit cross-legged comfortably, I want you to put your other leg in front, the awkward leg, and just settle into this position. It will feel funny to start with. Over time, it becomes a lot more natural. Hands on your knees, roll your shoulders back, close down the eyes. Let's take a big inhale through the nose and exhale, sigh out through the mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. Big inhale and exhale. And again, big inhale. And let it go. And then let's slowly blink open our eyes. Okay, let's inhale, sweep the hands up above your head. And then exhale, just gently twist to one side. Bring one hand behind and one hand on your knee. And twist using your torso, then your ribs, and then your chest. Okay, so try not to just yank your head, twisting from the torso. Every time you inhale, you lengthen through the spine. Every time you exhale, maybe you twist a tiny bit more. 2 more breaths here. Next, inhale, lift your hands back up to the sky. And then exhale, twist it over to the other side. One hand comes behind, one hand on the knee. Remember, as you twist, it comes from the stomach, then the ribs, and then the chest. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist. 2 more breaths here. Okay, let's inhale, bring the hands back up above the head. Exhale, release them down, and we're going to come all the way over onto all fours. Now, if you're on a hard floor like myself, you may want a blanket underneath your knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Let's just take a couple of cat-cows here. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, push the mat away around the back, draw the belly button up towards the spine. Inhale, drop it down. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, down. Exhale, reverse. Now let's come back to neutral. Bring the hands out a little bit further than the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Lift your belly to your thighs and your hips up towards the sky. Keep a bend in the knees here. Really lengthen out through the spine. Okay. From here, keeping both of your knees bent to start with, we're going to start to straighten the right leg. So start to draw your right heel down towards the ground. Rebend it, straighten the left. Rebend it, straighten the right. Rebend, straighten the left. And then let's come back to our normal downward facing dog. So from here, you can straighten out the legs if that feels comfortable, but only if you can keep your spine nice and lengthened. Okay, feet together at the back of the mat. Let's lift your right leg up high towards the sky. Bend the right knee, then open your hip to the side. Now from here, make sure that you've got your Mula Bandha turned on, so your pelvic lock. What that means is basically try to stop yourself from weeing. So tense those muscles, make sure that they're not all loose there. Turn your core on. Bring your leg back to 3-legged dog, so toes point down. And then let's step it up in between the hands. Okay, drop the left knee down towards the ground. Now you're in your low lunge position. Sink into your hips here. Try to keep your chest nice and open. If you have yoga blocks, maybe you use those. Okay, Now shuffle your right foot back slightly. Now you're going to drop your right knee towards your right wrist. Okay, your right ankle comes underneath your left hip. From here, you're going to tuck your left toes and lean backwards. Take that leg back, drop your hips as low as they would go so you come into your pigeon pose. Now, just double check your alignment here. Look behind, make sure that your left leg is straight. Your front knee, just going to turn to the side so you can see, should be coming slightly off at an angle. Sink those hips as low as possible. Now maybe you stay upright here, or maybe you can drop down to your elbows. If you are working a little bit more on the hamstrings, going down low is really great. If you want to work more on your quads, keep your body upright. Okay, so it really depends what kind of stretch you're looking for today. Now, if you have dropped yourself down, another variation is to come all the way down and rest your head onto your arms. Completely up to you which variation you take. Now, if you do end up with any knee pain or if this pose feels uncomfortable completely, bring yourself up, roll over, bring your left leg out in front, come all the way down onto your back, cross your right ankle over your left knee and come into your figure four pose. You can notice here, my right leg is doing the same position, right? So you're still getting that nice hip opening in the hip there. Now, completely up to you which variation you'd like to take. Just a couple more breaths here before we go on to the other side. Now remember to take slow inhales and exhales here, because every time we exhale, that's us telling our body to relax. That's when the muscles are going to be lengthening. If you were down on your arms or on your elbows, just come back up, plant your hands flat on the ground. Tuck your left toes under. You're going to come straight back in to downward facing dog. If you are doing figure four, you can roll back over to your down dog. Okay, toes here at the back of the mat. Lift your left leg up high. Bend the left knee. Open the hip to the side. Remember, try to stop yourself from peeing. Turn on your pelvic muscles, your core muscles here. Really open that hip up to the side. As if you're trying to stack your left hip on top of the right. And then back to your three-legged dog, toes point down. And step it up in between your hands, lower your right knee. Now, if you struggle to get your leg up from down dog, you can always drop to all fours and then shuffle that left foot forward. I do have a video on how to step through, so I will link that up above. Let's sink those hips down for a moment. Try to keep that chest nice and open. Couple breaths. And then let's shuffle that left foot back slightly. Drop your left knee to your left wrist. Tuck your right toes. Walk that knee backwards. Sink those hips down low. Again, just double check your position. So look behind, make sure that that right leg is straight. Check that your hips feel like they're parallel to the front of the mat. And again, take your variation. So maybe you stay up, maybe you come down onto your elbows, maybe you come down onto your forearms. Completely up to you. And you might notice here that both sides feel completely different as well. So just take whichever position feels okay for your body. Just know that we are going to that slight stretch so that your body can relax, okay? We don't want your body tensing and panicking and thinking, oh my God, this is too much, because you're not going to be gaining flexibility that way, okay? So make sure you go until there's a slight stretch, and I promise with every time you do this class, it will get easier and easier. So really focus on that exhale. Relax wherever you're feeling this, whatever muscle you're feeling this in. And you're never stuck in one place as well. So if you do want to walk yourself up a little bit higher, or even try figure four on your back, then feel free. Okay. If you're on your back, come up to seated. If you're in your pigeon, we're gonna lean our left bum cheek down to the ground so you can swing your right leg out in front and come to a seated position. Take your legs out long for a second. Just bounce the knees up and down, kind of shake them out a little bit. Make sure there's no tension in there. And that's us done for today. Thank you so much for joining me today for our quick pigeon practice. If you would like longer hip opening classes like this one, then come and join Lakora live. We have a 5-day free trial right now. We go live twice a week, and in September that's going up to 3 times a week with 30-minute classes to really help you gain flexibility. You get an easy to use app with all of the replays on there, and there's so many different things to choose from. So depending on what you're working on, hip opening, forward folding, back bending, even handstands and inversions are in there as well. So go and check that out. I'll put a link in the description below, and hopefully I'll see you in there.